You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Village of Wappinger Falls monthly meeting of the Mayor and the Board of Trustees. Today, Wednesday, May 12th, 2021. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, clerk.
Mayor Serino,
Present.
Trustee Sadati,
Present.
Trustee Ponte,
Present.
Trustee Nesnick,
Here.
Trustee Huber,
Present.
Trustee Ruffin,
Present.
Trustee Lauricella,
Here.
Village Attorney Wallace.
Here.
Recognition, announcement, special events, clerk.
As some of you may know, or all of you may know, the Village of Wappinger Falls is awarded the PERMA, which is our comp carrier, 2021 Awards and Excellence video was made of all the participants, most of the village employees, for the outstanding job they've done in the area of safety. And we're going to get an award for that. They were here filming last week. We went to all the locations. We showed them all the things that we did when we were auditing as a committee. I have a committee of 4. And it's going to be shown on Wednesday, May 26th. It'll be visual or virtual. And Thursday, May 27th from 12 to 1. Don't worry, I'm going to get a copy of it. I'm going to show it here at one of our meetings, and we'll put it on our website. But I would just like to say that the village workers in the Village of Wappinger Falls are very conscious about safety. We went to the highway garage. We did some show and tell there. We went to the water plant. We even lowered a man down into a pit to show that how we are so careful to make sure that they have oxygen and all of that. And they were really impressed with that because they hadn't seen that before. So that's going to be a major event for us. And we're going to continue on with our safety meetings monthly, of which Trustee Ponte is now a member. And she stayed the whole day for that. And so that was great. The second thing that's going on now in the village is Hometown Heroes program that Cindy Latino and others, myself and several others, have been involved with getting photos and applications of people. We have 76 photos so far in phase 1. We've collected $4,500 toward the purchase of those. And we're going to be using, to save some money, we're going to be using some of the poles that the Downtown Businessmen's Association had, so we can save some money there on the steel rods. I noticed today that in the town of Wappinger, theirs were being put up by their highway department, and they're up in Fishkill. Hopewell were put up as well. So hopefully we can start ours this weekend, or
They're not in yet.
when?
The banners aren't in yet. They shouldn't be here probably until closer to the 25th of May. They're still in production.
Okay, we want them up by Memorial Day, so that's really exciting to do that. And I'm sure once we have them up, there'll be a lot more that will want them. Also, Memorial Day weekend, we're going to have a major event in the village where we have a bugler who will be sounding taps off every hour starting on May 30th into May 31st, Memorial Day, at the corner of Messier Park, adjacent to the library. And that will be Miss Masterson. So every hour she will be doing that, with the exception of going up to Poughkeepsie for a time to the walkway. She'll be up there doing that too for the county. So that'll be exciting. It's going to be a long day for you, I think, every hour, but that's great that you'll be able to do that. And Mayor and Board, that's all I have for recognition and announcements.
Okay. Before we start, the honorary deputy mayor was in town on last Saturday, and we had a small ceremony at Dan Bruther's grave in St. Mary's, because it was his 163rd birthday on May 8th. And included there was a few other people. Danielle was there, my brother's wife, and I believe that his first name was Larry Summers. Now, he's a sports freak. He was also a member of the 1967 Boise Ketchum undefeated team and unscored upon team. And we had some pictures taken. I said a few words. And there was some pictures taken with a bat and a ball against his stone. And so that was a nice little touch. There's 263 active players in the who were active ball players in the Hall of Fame, and there's another 70 by managers, umpires, and whatever in the Hall of Fame. Wappinger Falls has one of those Hall of Fame members. So, a little sports trivia to start the meeting. So, action on the minutes. The April 14th, 2021 Village Board. Motion to approve.
Motion.
All in favor? Aye. Action on April 19th, 2021 Village Board Special Meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Was that Mike?
No, that was
Adam?
Jen and Adam. The April 26th, 2021 Village Board Special Meeting. Motion to accept
Make the motion.
Second.
and a second. All in favor? Aye. And lastly, the April 28th Village Board, 2021 Village Board Meeting, final budget hearing. Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Ruffin, seconded by Trustee Ponte. All in favor? Aye. I know the Finance Committee has been reviewing the bills, so is there a motion by the Finance Chairman to accept the bills as paid?
Yes, so moved.
And a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Sidoti. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay, John.
All right. Annually, we have to have a public hearing to accept the annual MS4 report. So I would need a motion to open the hearing.
I'll make it. Second.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, MS4 stands for Municipal Separate Sewer Stormwater System. And the village signed a notice of intent in 2003. And I have been on that committee since then, and I'm also the chairman of the Dutchess County MS4 committee that meets monthly with the other 14 upstream communities. So what I have here is a 74-page report I want to go over with you in detail. But I'm not going to. I'm going to net it down to let you know that we have 6 areas that we really focus on during the year. Number 1 is public education. improvements to the village, to participants. Number 3 is illicit discharge that we talk about. 4 and 5 are construction and post-construction work that takes place. And the last one is municipal operations stormwater management plan. So the first one, public education, is when we do mailings sometimes. You might see in your utility bill a pamphlet, something like that. That's a mailing to get the word out to the public on different things, grass cutting, walking pets, that kind of thing. And we go, some of the drains, you might see these markers, although they're starting to get broken and falling off. So we've gone to another plan where we have stencils now that our highway guys will, as they clean the storm drains, they will stencil near the storm drain with some kind of a paint. So we're going to start that now that the weather's nicer, as part of the public outreach. So the illicit discharge would be something where somebody, their washing machine soap is going down the storm drain rather than into the sewer system, for example. So in the way we would catch that is periodically we go around the village to the 26 outfalls that are around the lake and down at the lower creek. And we check those outfalls in wet weather and we check them in dry weather to see if there is anything, any evidence of soap suds, oil, that kind of thing. And if there is, we try to find the source. Our village has been very fortunate in not having any of that take place. I can't say that for the upstream communities because I don't know, but I'm sure there's some illicit discharge upstream that ends up with us. We're at the end of the line. It all collects at the Clinton Dam. If any of you have ever been over there to the Clinton Dam, you'll see where it all, the rubble, tires, dirt, grass, everything ends up in one spot by the Clinton Dam. In fact, one time it got so packed up there, Mayor Lawrence was the mayor at the time, a dog jumped on it thinking it was land, and we had to rescue the pet. But that's all from upstream, way up, comes all the way down. So our committee that I'm on, we try to get those committees to be aware that they should really be doing something to prevent that. We did it here in the village of Wappingers Falls. We have that system over by the Southern Dutchess News that we put in several years ago to show people upstream, look, we're doing our part down here. You should be doing something like that ecosystem in your communities as well. So that's kind of some of the stuff we do about illicit discharge. We don't have a whole lot of build out here in our 1 square mile village, so there's not a lot going on with construction, but when there is, we make sure we put up silt fences and follow all the rules that we're supposed to for pollution prevention. And then we do post-construction prevention by telling them, okay, now that this is done, you have to maintain it, kind of thing. But again, we don't have a lot of that going on. And we have a stormwater management plan that was put together many years ago by Jim Horan, who was our attorney at the time, and we have that in our local law book. That's a local law, so there are things in there that are enforceable if somebody is violating and causing problems here as far as contamination of our lake and water is concerned. We do have a local law and we could enforce that. So that's the long and short of this whole thing. And tonight, again, it's my obligation to the village to prepare that report, submit it to New York State DEC. But first, before I can do that, we're going to need to close the hearing and then have a motion to allow the mayor to sign it. Any questions on stormwater management program? Again, I've been doing it for 17 years and we're in good shape here in the village. By the way, what I didn't say was, not only do you submit the report, you are also subjected to an audit. And we've had 2 audits here in the village over the past 17 years, of which we've passed. So it's very important too. When they audit, they come in and take this report and said, okay, you said you cleaned so many streets, now show me your log. You told me you checked so many outfalls, show me your log and pictures and when you did it. And you said you had training. Show me the people that participated in the training and when. It's an annual training event that I do at the DPW, down at their shop or wherever I can find a spot. So, it's important. It's an important step. So, I think if there aren't any questions, Mayor, we could have a motion to close the hearing.
Make the motion.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.
That was Adam?
And me.
Okay. Thank you for taking that time.
Now, I'll make a motion, I'll entertain a motion to accept the clerk's report on MS4.
And the mayor can sign it.
I'll make it.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Ponte.
I think it was Adam, trustee. Well, either or.
We both said it at the same time.
All in favor? Aye. So you'll have that I can sign at a later date? Or
Right at the end of the meeting, Mayor, I brought it along with me.
Okay. Next up is approval to hire Alpine as a contractor to remove the trees from Franny Reese Park. I believe it's 3 trees,
Yeah.
and they're all little different prices, but
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
I'll second.
Can I just ask a quick question? Is any of that covered under insurance?
No. I called the insurance company. They wouldn't insure trees.
Okay. Thank you.
I just wanted to just bring one thing up regarding this. When this came up during our budget meeting with Highway, with Mr. Podgy, I had asked him how this wasn't like a foreseen circumstance, you know, and I pointedly asked him if the trees were brought to the engineer's attention. He said that they were, and he said that there was no concern. I just want that to be known, that they were consulted on it prior to the making of the park, because he said that he thought that that was a concern. And I just think it's important that it be known, and I don't know, you know, that matters to anybody, but.
I've heard the same thing, that it appeared to be an oversight on the engineering's part when they did that lower area design. It's been less than a year. One is down in the lake. The other 2 will be there shortly. So we need to, while the tree company is there taking the one out, which by the way, they have to send a diver down in there to cut the branches off because they're stuck into the soot. It makes sense to take the other 2 down too while he's there. And it's my understanding that the operation will be to cut it loose, winch it across the creek or that open area by the dam, pick it up, cut it, and put it in a truck and dispose of it.
Our highway guys will be working with the tree company on that.
So we can save money with the using the highway guys and a portion of it. So we tried to get other quotes, and this is the only guy that would really commit to do it. So you made the motion.
The motion.
I'll second it.
How much is it cost?
Just shy of 20,000. It's like 19 and change.
19,860.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying the engineer didn't pick up on that when they were doing that? You can't go after the engineer for a part of that?
Who?
The engineer.
The engineers?
When they were surveying or looking over Reese Park before it was even...
There were some trees removed in the upper level to make room for the parking, not at the lower level. And I can't speak for the engineers, but I'm told it was pointed out to them and they said, no, they're fine.
And they did away with it.
Correct. I am in receipt of a Advance notice for liquor license 26.
Excuse me, I think we have
gotta
to vote.
vote, though.
I think we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Yes.
Yeah,
And we need a vote.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now you have 30 days.
At times, depending on the business, I get advance notice of 30 days notice for a liquor license at different places. This one is for 2656 East Main, that was formerly the Vinyl Room. And what I do in these cases is the first thing I do is go into Brian Murphy's office and ask him if he has any problems with that. And he said, no, this is fine. It'll be a good establishment.
With that said, I guess I'll entertain a motion for this advanced liquor license.
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next. The fence at Clapp and Franklandale Avenue, trustee Ruffin.
Okay, so, in the last meeting that we had, there was a complaint. I just wanted to, I asked John to add these couple of housekeeping items because I wanted the public to know that we're taking action on these complaints because we take them seriously. On 10, as you see, that if you've driven by Clapp and Franklandale Avenue at the end by what used to be the incinerator tower that's now taken down, you might refer to it as the dump area. There's a decrepit eyesore of a green fence there. And Trustee Sidoti has been in contact with the Highway Department about possibly removing that or remedying it. And I just want the public to know that if everything falls into place, at the next board meeting, we'll vote on that and a remedy for that, and that fence will be gone, and we will no longer have to look at that. I did this out of order here, did I? Oh, no, I did not. Okay, so then...
Mike, if I could just make a comment on the fence. We have looked at that fence and, you know, we went, even again, I went back today with Pat. I don't see a reason for even prolonging that. The fence is an eyesore. It's not repairable. Doesn't need to be there. Just needs to be taken down. So.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we...
It was meant as a barrier, however...
I mean, I think we
serves
passed
no
on it
usable
last time and
purpose.
said we were gonna.
Just walk around it. And every time I pass open and I drive down Franklandale, that gate is always open. So it keeps absolutely nobody out. It was meant to be some kind of screening, as I understand it, so that you didn't look into that landfill area. But again, it's decrepit. Jen and I were talking about it before this meeting. There's a tree growing through one part of it. It's falling down and it just looks terrible.
Is that going to be all open there, where people can just go in and out of the...
I'll answer you with, before this meeting, I talked to some people on Franklandale, and myself, I just walked through the gate and I took some pictures just before this meeting. So again, people can just walk in and out right now. That fence keeps out absolutely no one. It serves no usable purpose, and it's a fence only in the academic term that it's standing and it's a barrier. As far as usefulness, the utility of it is absolutely zero.
Berm up.
I will say that, sorry, Mr. Paggi, it came up when I was in Village Hall the other day, and he said that he suggested and would be able to do, with the help of his crew, to just create a berm there to keep people from going out. I didn't know that it really needed to be something, but he said he could do it and he could do it easily. And
If you actually look
so if that
behind
is
it,
a concern,
if you actually look behind it, there's you know,
Yeah.
as far as, no one can really drive. It goes up and down, just like it does the whole length of it. So as far as keeping people out, if they don't walk through there, they can walk down 100 yards and walk through there. So it's, if people want to get in there, they're going to get in there. I think the bigger problem is it's a broken, damaged fence that's an eyesore that serves no purpose and needs to come down.
Yeah, so at this point, I think I'd like to make a motion that we take the fence down.
Leave the posts there, though.
Leave the post.
Posts are all bent
Posts are
too.
damaged. What do we need the post?
All of them?
Yep.
I'll second that right now.
I mean,
Then we can be done with
they're
it.
not reusable, they're bent beyond repair. If we're gonna take the fence down, the post should go, you get a machine in there easily, they can pull the poles, grade, flatten the area out, knock the, get the weeds so they're down, clean it up. And if we have issues, we can assess the situation at a later time. We can put another couple no trespassing signs there if necessary. We have police patrols in the area, so we can assess it at a later date if we need to put a berm there or something, if cars are driving in there. But they could drive in there now also, but, because we have a rolling gate that doesn't function properly. So, that's.
I don't see the purpose of anybody going in there. You can't hide anywhere. It's all very viewable. So kids want to hide or do something, or there's just.
The amount of complaints that we've had on this, we gotta take some kind of action, and you can't repair it, so I think we could send our guys over there maybe in a half a day's time and pack it up, get it in a dumpster and get it out of there, get it over to Royal.
So, make your motion.
You've got a motion and a second already.
Hold on. Make your motion to be specific of what is gonna transpire at the fence. With the fence.
I wanna make a motion that remove the fabric of that fence and the fence poles and clean up that area
By the highway department.
by the, at Franklandale and Clap Avenue. From that concrete pillar to just to where the fence is falling down, the entire piece.
And a second?
I'll second that.
And a second by trustee Ruffin.
Do we have a time frame?
And if we have issues with something going on outside of what's going on now there, we'll address it easily with the highway department. They go there with the loader, they make a little berm with some wood chips that we have there that doesn't cost us any money, so cars can't go over it. People can walk now anywhere they want, so it's not the foot traffic we're worried about.
Do you want to include a time frame for the highway department to complete this work?
We can call him tomorrow and
Yeah, I don't think it's
figure it
necessary.
out.
He's ready, he'll
Okay.
put it in his schedule, we'll get him on it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye. Okay, so the other complaints that we've received, that I've received from Rick, that were passed to me as part of the legislative committee, we have to review the parking on West Street. So that would be West Street to the west of 9D and running to Hillside. So there have been some complaints about too many cars on both sides of the road. People can't get by. If fire trucks have to get down that lane and they can't get there, and time is of the essence, it could be a life safety issue that we need to address. So we'll also be looking into that, and I don't think we have a determination right now. Trustee Lauricella, Trustee Sadati, and myself were there this past Saturday. We were walking.
Hubert.
Oh, I'm sorry, Hubert, excuse me, not Sadati. Thank you. We were walking that road on West Street. We walked down Hillside. We walked down Downey Avenue, and we have not come to a remedy at this point in time. But we hope to have something to present next meeting. And when we do present, we're not trying to steal anybody's parking spot or hurt anybody. We're really concerned with just the cars and the flow of traffic in the area. That's all that's the scope of what we're trying to do. But we'll present something next meeting, and it won't just pass, it'll go to public hearing, correct?
Yeah, Trustee Ruffin, there would have to be a local law proposed.
Correct.
And a public hearing would ensue for public comment, and then it would go to the board for.
Yes. But if,
Wasn't this brought up last year with West Street?
That was
Man.
the other side, Mrs. Rogers. The other side of West Street was brought up last year.
so the other side of West Street is north side of the street only parking. However, Trustee Sadati and I were talking about that. Now, that parking on the east side of West Street, the West Street to the east of 9D is north side of the street parking, correct?
I believe
By your
that's
shop,
not.
yeah. But does that run all the way down?
That runs all the way
Runs all the way down to Brown Avenue.
Brown and Roy.
Okay, perfect.
All the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it stops at Brown.
Stops at Brown.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we would consider possibly for the west side of West Street, well, west of 9D, on West Street to Hillside, maybe south side of the street parking only. I don't know, that's one possible remedy. But anyway, I just wanted the public to be aware of what we're doing there. Complaints. Okay, any questions? Okay.
Do homeowners have complaints about too many cars parked?
I'll defer to Rick for that.
Are the homeowners going to complain that we're taking away?
It's very possible.
It's gonna be both.
So
It'll be both.
It's gonna be both.
we don't know who's complaining, who's saying there's a problem there.
Well, that's why we're going to hold a public hearing, definitely. So we hope to get everybody in here for that public hearing so they can speak their mind. That would be the time to do it. Does that make sense?
This particular issue initially started from two constituents on Downey Avenue who brought it to my attention, and I turned it over to the legislative committee, and that's where we're at right now. Okay. The next item is you have a packet here of this fireworks item for the 150th anniversary, and the company and their record, so to speak, and projects they've done. I've never actually seen a proposal quite like this, but be that as it may, it's quite extensive. I'm not asking for anything tonight for a vote. I want you all to look it over and read it. And if you have to make a call to one of the towns that they worked for, feel free. And then we can maybe do something at the next meeting, at the workshop.
So is this the date picked, July 10th?
Yes. With a rain date, here.
And where are we putting these? On Spring Street?
I'll be on vacation.
Pardon?
We're shooting them off on Spring Street?
Well, I would say, yeah, right at the bottom there, and then, they'll go out they'll be shot. I believe they'll be shot from the lake. Hill's Control will be on Spring Street.
Oh, it's control, okay.
That's how I understand
I'll
it.
be on
But the last time we had fireworks, it was nice to see them out on the lake.
Yeah.
Well,
This way it's pretty much central from the village.
he's in Seattle.
I thought it was cool.
I mean, the display
He just turned 20.
is probably going to run 25 to 30 minutes. So, with an 8 to 10 minute, 8 to 12 minute grand finale.
Mayor, we got a question right here.
I was just curious as to who the proposal was from.
Pardon?
Who's the proposal from, fireworks?
Fireworks extravaganza. I only know of the local guy. I'll see who the actual owner is.
Is it Legion Fireworks?
No.
It's not.
That's who did it last time. Legion, Frank.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Elisan, he's the event coordinator for Fireworks Extravaganza. Last page. He's done work with Rockland Boulders, New York, Town of Haverstraw, Staten Island Borough, Village of Ridgewood, New Jersey, Hillsborough Township, New Jersey, City of Peekskill, New York, Rocking Horse Ranch, Town of Newburgh, Town of Southeast, Village of Greenwood Lake, Lake Mohawk Country Club, Town of Clarkston, New York, Town of Walk Hill, Town of Kent, Village of Sleepy Hollow, Town of Plattekill, Town of Chester, Town of Fallsburg, Village of Catskill, Town of Middletown, Village of Spring Valley, Borough of Park Ridge, Ringwood Recreation, Brick Township, New Jersey, Indo-American Festivals, New York and New Jersey, Bear Mountain State Park, Town of Bel Air in Maryland, University of Maryland College Park in Maryland, Defenders Day celebration in Maryland, City of Hagerstown, Maryland, Town of Elkton, Maryland, Fullerton Fireworks, Maryland, Salisbury Traditions Incorporated, Maryland, Town of Cecilton, Maryland, City of Gaithersburg, Maryland, Aberdeen Ironbirds, Ripken Stadium, Maryland, Ocean Downs Racetrack, Maryland, Town of Boonesboro, Maryland, River Valley Ranch, Maryland, City of Chesapeake City, Maryland, City of Brunswick, Maryland, Snow Hill, Maryland, Calvert Country Parks and Recreation in Maryland, City of Lebanon, Pennsylvania, Upper Darby Township, Pennsylvania, Mason-Dixon Fair in Pennsylvania, Crozet Community Association in Virginia, Farmington Country Club in Virginia, Fairfax County Park in Virginia, Town of Middletown, Delaware, and Town of Smyrna, Delaware. I also believe he does, I don't think it was listed, in Kingston. He does the Kingston fireworks. So, read it over, look at it, call him up if you have to. Comes highly recommended, so. And that's all I'm saying about that. So, we have the next item is the 5th Annual Festival at the Falls, combined with the 30th anniversary of the 9/11 Memorial Service.
20.
20th anniversary of the 9/11 Memorial Service. I only have a comment relative to the 20th anniversary. Personally, myself, I have no objection at the festival at the Falls. I think the 9/11 Memorial Service needs to be a somber event. That's how I see it. Maybe the board will disagree with me, but that's how I see it. So I don't know what the intent in that memorial service is for 9/11. And any other comments from the board?
I'd like to just hear what Cindy's trying to get our attention, so I'd like to hear a chance to.
Well, I already have approval from the previous board for it, but I brought it back to ask your approval because some people had raised concerns about it being a somber day for 9/11. We don't have a problem with moving festival to the next day if you would prefer. We traditionally have done it on a Saturday. I don't see why we couldn't do it on a Sunday. We could. I'm asking for feedback from you, really, is what I'm looking for. We made the offer to do the 9/11 service, which I have done for the village for the last couple of years. I've done the 9/11 ceremony. And the intent would be to recreate what Mary Ross originated back on 9/11, which was to have a candlelight ceremony at night. We felt we could have the park and area cleared out and do that later in the evening. Festival usually ends about 6. We were looking to do the service at like 7. The clean-out's it takes about a half an hour to get everybody out of the park that's been there as far as vendors and stuff go. But again, we would be willing, if you would prefer, to do festival on the 12th and just do the 9/11 ceremony on 9/11. Discussion, I mean, I didn't get any objection from any of the veterans groups that I spoke with, but, you know, so I'm just sharing that with you. Nobody seemed to object to it. But again, I think, you know, I understand where you're coming from as far as it being a somber occasion, and I know you, Mayor, have mentioned that you would like it to be a larger celebration than what we've had in the past few years.
That's what I was gonna say. I've been to quite a few of them, and throughout the years, they've been slowly less people and less people. I think if you bring people in, you might have a chance for all of us to get together. And, I mean, I understand where some people are coming from, that it should be separate from the Festival of the Falls, but I mean, again, going through the September 11th Memorial every year is just, it seems like it's getting less and less people. I would like to see more.
It's going to be separate.
Yeah.
Like you said, you may have more people hanging around to, you know, observe this.
I'd have no objection to keeping both the same day.
Yeah.
Myself.
Every year, it's the same faces that go every year, and you look around and there's hardly anybody anymore. I don't understand.
I don't either.
I don't get it.
I mean, it could be, now I'm looking to invite people like Reverend Hunt to come back and you know, speak at it and stuff, you know, very similar to what, you know,
and I know
Mayor Ross had done and stuff. So it could very well bring in larger crowds. I mean, we haven't in the past few years really sent out invitations directly to any particular groups. It's always just been a publication either through Facebook or, you know, through the Southern Dutchess News saying that we were having a ceremony at a particular time. And, you know, we do have people speaking at it, and I have a fairly structured you know, ceremony and stuff, but, you know, maybe it also could be that we're not sending out invitations. The last time we sent out invitations was for the 10th. So.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the public.
But I think if they, you know, we're putting out who's going to be there, sometimes that's the draw to say that, you know.
Especially Reverend Hunt.
Especially Reverend Hunt. So, you know, I'm leaving it to you. I mean, as I said, we would be open to doing it either way. You know, we're comfortable with it. So, but I would like your feedback. I just want to know that we have your support, whichever way we do it.
Do you feel an hour is a big enough transition to go from one event to another like that?
It was, you know, I'm going by our past experience because the crowd does dwindle down, so it is easy to get people out of the park. And last time I had probably close to 80 vendors in that park, and they were cleared out by 6:30. You know, it's a matter of how do we structure it. I could cut back a little bit on, you know, festival to say, you know, we're going to ask the vendors to get out by 5:30. You know, there's a variety of ways to do it and stuff, but I mean, last time we did, it was fine. I mean, I could be because I had them parking off-site too, and I had a shuttle bus that was running, you know, them up to get their cars, and bang, they came back and they loaded up quickly. We only had one vendor that really was challenging to get out of the park, and I think she misunderstood that part of her, you know, vendor fee was not that we were going to take down her booth. So, you know, I so appreciated Dana Tompkins that day because he came up and said, what can I do to help? And I said, help me get her out of here. And he did. We broke it down and got her out of there. So, but again, you know, if you want to have a conversation, want to talk about it a little bit more, and then, you know, tell me one way or another which way you would like to go, that's fine with me. We'd like to get going on it, though. This is about the time that we like to have about, you know, 4 months to plan it out and have it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, does the board want to vote tonight or table it to the workshop?
I think we'll table it to the workshop.
I would just like to say one thing. I think it's smart to have that event on a Saturday versus a Sunday.
Which event are you talking about?
Agree.
What's that?
Which event are you talking about?
Sorry, Festival.
Okay.
I think something like that for families, it's nice to have it on a Saturday. I'm sure it can still be nice on a Sunday. To echo Cindy, you know, people were wound down and the place was very clean and neat after after effect. So, I mean, I can't really speak to what anyone's heart feels about September 11th and the way they choose to spend that evening, but I think if the goal is to create a sense of community and foster that for the residents, bring new visitors in, and encourage them to explore, you know, the different things that the village has, recreation, business. Having it on a Saturday is better than a Sunday, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, you still didn't answer the question. Do you want to table it?
Well, I would vote now, and I would vote have it on Saturday.
Okay.
But if my other
Trustee Sadati?
I like the fact of having it on a Saturday, and I like
Okay.
drawing the crowd, so I would vote on it right now.
For the Saturday?
Yes.
2 and 1?
2 and 1.
Okay.
I say we vote on it
How
now.
we're gonna step, we could.
Trustee Huber?
I say we vote on it right now. I mean,
Trustee Ruffin?
I guess I'll vote that we could vote on it now.
I would have voted to table, so it would have been 5-2. Trustee Ponte?
I would have tabled it.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
So,
That's fine.
what's the table? Let's just do it now. Get it over with.
I can table it too, that's cool. I'm cool either way.
You wanna can you do a roll call vote so I can get this right?
yes.
Somebody gonna make a motion?
I'll make the motion we can join Festival of the Falls and 9/11 Memorial all on Saturday, on September 11th. As long as the park can be cleaned up by the time we need to do it. If we have to make changes in time.
Would you feel better if I made an adjustment in the time that we do festival? Because we've been starting it at noontime, because normally what has happened is we always had the McDonald run before, so which is why I couldn't start it till 12, because I had to clear out the McDonald run from the park before we could get in.
Yeah.
We could do festival from 10 to like 5, which would give us a little bit more of buffer time to clear out that park and get set up.
That seems reasonable.
Does that seem reasonable to everybody?
So, what time did you normally have Festival of the Fall?
12 to 6,
So 10 to 5 is 7 hours.
yeah.
So you're extending the Festival of the Falls. So would 10 to 4 be
We
good?
do 11 to 5, whatever, whatever works.
I'm just trying, thinking that a lot has to happen in 1 hour. That would be my only concern. The same day doesn't necessarily bother me either. I'm just concerned at the fact that there's a lot of transition that has to happen in 1 hour.
So if we go 10 to 4 or 11 to 5, I still think that 2 hours gives me plenty of time to get that set up.
Oh, I thought it was going to be at 6 o'clock.
The service?
Yeah.
No, I was looking for it to be dark. Because I was
Okay.
going to do a candlelight ceremony, so.
Oh, so you're not even starting it?
I
Okay.
would need to start at 7, because I'm pretty sure at that point in time.
I thought you were starting at 6. That's why I was looking at the time.
I've been looking to start it at 7.
Okay.
I would say 10, I say 10 to 5.
Do 10 to 5?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Okay. It is easier to have on a Saturday because many of our village businesses are not open on Sundays. So, and the reason behind our doing this is to bring people in that will want to walk around and, meander and get to know what we have in the downtown.
I don't have a problem with the same day. I was just concerned that there was only an hour difference, but it sounds like there's 2 hours difference, so that
All
would
right,
make
so
sense.
10 to 5 then. Okay, all right.
Got my vote.
You want to reapprove it then?
Okay, so,
I made the motion, Mayor, to hold the Festival of the Falls and September 11th Memorial on the same day from 10 to 5.
And then 7 to.
And the memorial service will be from 11 till whenever.
No, 7.
Oh, 7?
Probably 7 to 8:30.
7,
You know what?
8:30?
The more I'm thinking, maybe I'd rather do it 11 to 5 instead of,
11
adding
to
that
5?
extra hour.
Okay.
Might be complicated, so.
Correction on the time, 11 to 5.
11 to 5 and then
7 till...
7, probably 7 to 8:30.
7 to 8:30.
The 9/11 service.
That's my motion.
Why exactly is it on the same weekend, on the same day?
It normally would have been in June. We had a concern about, we did not know where we would stand as far as COVID restrictions. It would have been somewhat impossible for us to keep people 6 feet apart. I mean, it's quite a huge gathering when we have it. So that was the concern. So to err on the side of caution, we decided with the way things were going that we would bump it out to September. We made that decision probably back in January.
I just have, if it was my family, if I personally lost somebody on 9/11, I guess I'm like the odd man out. I just feel that that should be a special day for 9/11. I don't see
So why don't
a
we go
big
back to
festival
tabling
on the
it?
same day.
Why don't we go back to tabling it?
Let's table it.
and
Let's
we'll-
have a bigger discussion.
What we can-
I was also trying to work around the date because of, I did not, when we made the decision, we also did not know if the town of Wappingers was going to move ahead with doing their community day, which traditionally would have been that weekend as well. And we felt the need to kind of get our voice out there first to let people know, we're planning an event. We want you to come to the village to our event. So that was the reason for doing it. As far as I know, I'm not sure that the town of Wappingers is having a community day. Last I heard, they were not. So, their community day is far different than what festival is like. So, and that was the reason for picking that date. So,
I just see this big fun time and then a sad evening. For me, it just doesn't go together.
But they always had the ceremony like 6 or 7 o'clock anyway, and so
I know.
it's not really taken away from.
I think it's like on the emotional end,
Right.
like
You
being
guys
happy,
discuss-
happy, happy, and then sad. I don't, it just,
as I said,
for me.
I would rather that you had a conversation and really talked it out and
Yeah.
tell me what you feel most comfortable with.
Okay, with that said,
I'll make a motion that we table it to
the 26th.
the workshop meeting.
I'll second it.
Discussion on that? None? All in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
One nay.
One nay.
Okay. Hopefully there'll be an answer on the 26th. Okay. Next, we have W.T. Garner Engine Company voted in Brendan Hall as a member of the company and department. Motion to accept that?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you, Brendan is right. S.W. Johnson Engine Company voted in a change to our company bylaws, Article 12, Section 1, by starting our monthly meeting time at 7 p.m. Jerry Travis requested his status be changed to life active from life inactive, and Kevin Powell returned to active status.
I'll make the motion on the meeting, Jerry Travis and Kevin Powell. Just so the board knows, Kevin Powell's come back from the Army. He spent 7 years in the service.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried. There has been resignations of part-time Officer Antonio Esposito, effective 5/14/21, and full-time Police Assistant Gary Behan, 5/27/21. Motion to accept those?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
And a second by Trustee Ponte. All in favor? Aye. You wanna do that?
Yeah, you got it, right? Old business. I gave it to you.
I don't.
There it is. Isn't that it?
Is this it?
Yeah.
No. For Behan.
Somebody looked over.
I didn't bring it. I thought we were going to go down to the police station.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
Not today.
Yeah, we'll do that.
okay,
I can comment, though.
yeah.
We've had Police Assistant Gary Behan with the village for many years, and he is an outstanding employee. And he's going on to become a police officer. But it'll be a loss to the village because if you speak to anyone in that police department about Gary Behan, and they will tell you he's probably among the best we've ever had. So next week, the mayor and I and police commissioner will present him with a plaque, a letter of appreciation for all he's done for the village of Wappingers Falls.
Where is he going as a police officer?
Poughkeepsie. I'm told the town of Poughkeepsie. I think. That's what he said. But he will be missed, and I will miss him because I call him at times at night. When I get a call at home at night, and he does work nights, I want to tell you, he's right on it. He's very good. So we're advertising for replacements.
Okay. Next, this is under old business. I am going to make an appointment for the one-year planning board seat, and I'm going to nominate Robert McDonough for one-year seat.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nay. I'm going to nominate Lisa Holmes McCarthy and Rachel Lewis as the alternates.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just for the record, I did talk to Planning Board Chairman Morris about this, and he might have been a little surprised, but he was satisfied. Okay, he interviewed all of them. Next item is the Economic Development Committee, so I think this would be a good time to put some members on it, and I think we might have no loss to find some members. Trustee Laura Sally.
So I spoke to a couple of the previous members. Unfortunately, Ben Joyce is moving out of the area. He was great, but he's moving out of the area. And one of the other members, Matt, I don't remember his last name. I was just calling Matt with the brown house. Yeah, right. He has that beautiful brown house on the corner. He's decided not to participate. So currently, we're going to, I'd like to, I don't know what the word is, but Courtney Kolb is interested in coming back, and Trent Atkinson's interested in coming back, and then I'd like to put them there and then open it up to, get a single meeting where we can generate some interest and put it out on social media and put it out on the website, and hopefully we'll get some new people. Somebody did mention that the woman who is opening the new business, over by St. Mary's.
That was me.
Okay. She's expressed interest.
Right.
So hopefully she'll come to that first meeting. I mean, it's a pretty informal kind of thing where people just get together and figure out if they want to be a part of it.
So, when you get the names, give us the names of individual. I know the last name of this woman. I don't know her first name.
But I mean, can we at least establish it with those
who
two
expressed interest?
Okay.
And then we can firm that up on the 26th of this month.
Okay. Can we establish it? Can we vote to establish it now? And
yes. And then
that way have those people and then get to getting some new blood in there?
Who's the chairperson?
Pardon?
Who would be the chairperson?
Oh, I don't know, I just assumed they would, once they had figured out who was gonna participate.
I think we gotta hold off until we have the committee all set for as chairperson, if I do remember correctly.
Well, can I just make it the previous chairperson for now?
Yeah, sure.
Courtney Cole was the chairperson, if she'd like to keep it, great. It wasn't very hierarchical. If it's a matter of a formality, I just think that we did some things that had value, and, I'd like to try to get it going again.
Definitely. I agree.
Oh, no objection from me.
Cool. So, I'd recommend that Courtney Cole be the chairperson, and if she decides to not do that, or somebody else wants to step into that position.
Okay, so we will establish the Economic Development Committee with Courtney Kolb as chair lady of the committee, and Adam as a member.
Well, I don't think I can be a member, but I could be the liaison. Right? I can't be the.
Oh, okay, you're right. And maybe Trent Atkinson as a.
He's interested in coming back as a member, and then I'm sure we'll get some other good assets.
So, I have a second on that.
I just recommend that anybody that you vote on is not a member of any current boards, like the ZBA or the planning board.
Yeah, they neither are. Thank you, though,
on a
for the
question.
recommendation.
No, I'll second that.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Adam?
Next up?
Yeah.
I just have one question with it. Would the board be giving the Economic Development Committee a charge? Or is it basically whatever they want to do? Or are you guys looking for a specific role for them to play?
It would be a continuation of the role that was already there. There was a charge.
They can only serve in an advisory opinion.
That's correct.
Right. The last time it ended up, they talked about like garbage cans and stuff like that. Instead of I thought it was more of how can this group bring businesses into the village.
Sure, some of it was that, and as you would know, beautifying the business district is one way. So the garbage cans, but you're right.
Beautifying the business district would be great for like a beautification committee or a business association or whatever. But an economic development to me is, okay, how do we bring in residential and businesses into the village that are going to make the village prosper?
Correct, and we did several of those things and sent recommendations to the board whether they chose to listen or not. We also hosted an investor forum where Mayor Alexander came, gave talking points about certain areas that we're looking for development, certain grant opportunities. The grant, right? I don't know if were you there?
Yeah, that was like my first day, actually.
You want to speak to
that was
value of that?
That was a pretty.
We had about a dozen investors.
See, those things are great to me.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Garbage cans and park benches and stuff, to me, is not what an economic development committee should be doing.
A dozen other people disagree, and they wanted those. And so we got them, and some were put out. Nobody else was putting out park benches for people to sit. There was rusty bent ones. So we were kind of going, what can we do to bring attention? And so that was one of the things. And that was only one of the things, one of the many things. And you know what? Sometimes, as you guys know, you guys get criticized a lot. Not everything you do is a home run. Not everybody wants to play that game. But I stand by the fact that we brought attention. And I didn't see you at a lot of meetings. You may have been at one, but I didn't see you at a lot, so you don't really know what we did. But I will say for sure that we brought value, and I'm confident that we will continue to. And with a board that's receptive, we will even do more. And so we'll see. This
that's
time
what-
next year, you can take a look.
And that's why I
you can
asked
be a
if
part of
the
it.
board was gonna be, give them a charge, a specific, this is what we'd like to see from you guys.
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is, there wasn't a lot of participation from the board this previous time. But as the liaison, I certainly have objectives, and I will certainly offer some guidance. And you're welcome to come and participate. That's the best way to have your voice heard. Just be a part of it. You can come to that into that intro meeting, and maybe you'll get on the board. Sit on it. Sitting on it's almost nothing. We're all kind of just equal in the room, spitballing ideas.
Right.
Some things went places, some things didn't, and some of them probably didn't go places because people didn't want them to. But you'll know when it starts. Love to see you there.
Okay, so we have some monthly reports, and I'm not going to go quite in order. I'm going to jumbo it a little bit. So, Recreation, Trustee Ponte, anything?
Nothing right now.
Okay, so we have progress.
Well,
Oh, we have something.
Okay.
well, I just wanted to add that we are taking applications up till Friday for recreation, part-time recreation director. So those applications would go to John Carge. So we will be accepting them until this Friday, and then we'll be reviewing them and setting up interviews.
Very good.
I have something, Mayor.
Yes.
So, I got a phone call from a gentleman named Doug Aberson of Poughkeepsie. He was out with John Regan at the Groundhog, and they got in contact with John Carge, and the gentleman got my number, and he called me. So what he's proposing is to do 6 concerts to be held for 6 weeks starting of July 5th in Mizzier Park. And concerts will be not on a Thursday or Friday or Saturday. It will most likely be on
Sunday, Monday.
any day except, yeah. So it'll be Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Wednesday probably be the rain date. This gentleman's willing to pay his musicians up to 4 musicians, so he's going to give them $100 a piece. So it cost him $400, but he's willing to pay for all 6 concerts. And I think we should take him up on his offer, and I mean, we have to do something this summer. I mean, there's nothing going on in this village. We need to do something, and this is something.
And he's paying them.
So, all I'm looking for is just the board's permission to call this guy back and say, you're more than welcome to use Mizzier Park and Franny Reese Park.
A motion to give the man approval to,
I'll make the motion.
Is it as easy as just giving him approval?
No, there's a license component to it, so
I
the
didn't
board
think
would
so.
have to vote on, the fee for the license.
It'd be just like purchasing concerts, as Cindy did in the past.
He's donating them. I did write, actually, Paul wrote
There's no licensing.
a letter to Botini trying to get them to fund the summer concert series so that we could have one. They haven't given me an answer back. I don't think it's any different than that.
Yeah,
That
there's
he's offering
no licensing.
to,
These are just bands.
I had two bands donate their services last year. We had the Southern Duchess Concert Band and the Big Band Sound, donated 2 concerts that we had in the park.
Yeah.
And then, we did a light show for the second one that Jimmy Fedigan donated to us. So, I think it's, it would be nice to have concerts in the park. You do have to, all I would say is that you do have to be mindful of what are the CDC regulations at this point in time. I mean, if you recall last year, we drew circles in the park to space
Yeah.
everybody out.
Yeah.
And you probably really do need to get the electrical checked on the gazebo, because we had a little bit of an issue towards the end of the concert with my having to stand there to keep the breaker from tripping
All right,
constantly.
we could do that. We can get the electrician to look at the gazebo.
I can do that. I can check make sure the electric's there. And we need to have the times booked with Heather, she's the one that books the gazebo. And I have to notify Nymir that we are gonna have concerts. I told them this morning we weren't, but I can just let them know that we will and put it back on our insurance.
All right, I mean, it's up to the board, but yeah. I mean, I think it'd be great for people to do during the summer, during the week.
Well, the price is right.
Motion to move forward with Mr.
Aberson?
Aberson.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Welcome. Trustee Huber, fire?
Fire, there were no meeting, but we did have 23 fire calls for the month of April.
Very good. While we're with you, Trustee Huber, Lake?
Lake, I was out in the lake boat today for about 2 hours. There are some weeds popping up. And the village is looking to hire a weed harvester, or a person to run a weed harvester part-time. And all applicants have to be in by May 14th. So that's this Friday at 12 noon.
Can I ask you something about that? Would there be any value in having two that are like less hours? I'm just curious. Did you think
If the board's interested in buying another one, sure. I mean,
No, he's saying.
or no, I was thinking it was like
Operators.
2 operators.
yeah, two operators. That's what I meant.
I mean,
Sorry.
you'd be still paying them the same.
Well, no, I know it wasn't a matter of trying to. I just was curious, you know,
Yeah, I don't know. I
being
mean,
beholden
I
to
think that-
one 35-hour.
Well, when one person does it, they'll know exactly where they
Okay.
work
Yeah, cool.
and where they need to work, and they can gauge it out so they can try to get.
the lake committee was going to sit down with the new employee, and the volunteers were going to take a portion of the lake, and we were going to give a portion to the new employee
20 at 20 hours.
at 20.
Oh, at 20. Okay, I thought I had read it was 35 hours. So I was like, why don't you just give? That's a lot of time out there.
20.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry. Thank you.
Quick question. To date, how many applications have we received?
I talked to John, and we have 2 at this time.
Two. Okay.
How hard is it to run it?
Yeah,
We're retired. Got nothing but time.
I'll drop an application off tomorrow.
Teach us how to do it.
What's the pay, Kevin?
We need something to do.
Need something to do. And that's all I have for the lake.
Can you say it?
But the weeds are coming up a little bit here and there. I saw today, and I clipped some, and I took a door out of the lake. So
Personnel, Trustee Niznik?
Nothing going on other than, the listings that we have for the jobs out there.
Trustee Sidoti for Highway?
Yeah, our highway guys have been busy. They've been doing their Monday brush pickup and weeds. We also, as Kevin said, we put the weed boat into the water. Also, they've been doing the MS4 catch basin vacuuming. They were doing that for multiple days, keeping those clean and flowing. And they also did some weed cutting along the fence lines on Market Street in East Main and Dutchess Terrace. They've been doing they did the municipal lots with the lawn cutting and weed removal. Also, one of our highway guys has just passed his written CDL test, which is a positive thing for the highway department. And also we've had another highway member pass all of his certifications to be a Class B and Class C water operator in the water plant. So that's good. We've been doing some pothole repairs, and they're also, they have some tentative work scheduled to do some more repairs and some curb work across the village. So, and also, we're going to be needing to hire a new person for the highway. Because with this person, Tyler Windheim passing his certifications for the water operator, he's gonna be transferring over. And we'd like to fill that position in a timely fashion because we have a workload that we want to, you know, keep on top of, not have a lapse in men, get them trained, get them out there. So we'd like to get that posted in Southern Dutchess.
I think it's already been.
Is it done? You did?
Yeah, I sent it to the Southern Dutchess yesterday. It'll be in next Wednesday's paper.
That's one of the things that we
Yeah.
want to make sure we're done. All right, that's all I have.
Just while we're in highway, I mentioned to Highway Superintendent Paggi about the feasibility to check out on Dutchess Terrace where they park, and the feasibility of perhaps putting a guardrail at the end of where they park, because if a car just kept going 8 more feet, you're over the bluff down, all the way down. So he's gonna look into that.
Okay.
I think they have rocks there now, no rocks.
Could I also bring something up, if you're gonna talk to Pete at the highway department? So on Clap Avenue, those spots there, that there's some grade down, they've got like big holes in there. So I don't know if you could probably mention that to Pete about just filling that grade in for those parking spots on Clap Avenue. So
Is that in front of Bain Park?
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Oh, really? What's the reason?
It's like a runoff for water or something like that.
It runs right off in some of those spots by Henry Street. So there's like a swimming pool out there, days when it rains. Right, you've been there, right? Yeah.
That's how the engineers designed that park, with that.
It's just awful, you can't even park over there.
What's that? No, they made a gully, they separated it.
Oh, they put a swell in?
Yeah. So, the engineers designed that for a reason, that way.
Is there any remedy to that, so it doesn't just fill up like a basin?
That's the point of it.
Oh,
I think is what he's
why'd
saying.
you put spots there then? All right, well, if you talk to Pete, maybe.
It's been like
Get
that.
his input on it and address it. See
Yeah, thank you.
While we're still on highway, I got a phone call from a resident who was requesting that we put at North and South Remsen, we have crosswalks going across East Main Street. But we do not have them going across from North Mizzier to South Mizzier. Going across East Main Street. We don't have crosswalks there. And there was a request for crosswalk signs at those 2 locations because it's dangerous when you're crossing. She ended up not knowing whether to go or stop or not, and one side of the traffic will stop, the other side doesn't stop because there's no crosswalks there. So she's requesting to have crosswalks put at the North and South Mizzier going across East Main Street, and to have crosswalk signs at the 2 intersections, North and South Remsen outside the post office and Mizzier near the park.
They were supposed to paint them there.
Right.
Going across Mizzier?
Yeah, and Matt said it just never got done.
Yeah, because there's
Yeah,
known,
but they were supposed to be put there.
yeah, and she was requesting like the fluorescent signs for crosswalking at those 2 locations. And I was driving by, I took pictures. There's the crosswalking at Remsen and North and South, but not Mizzier.
Nobody stops for north or south either, but they didn't repaint that. That's what they're saying.
Yeah?
You would really not know that there's a crosswalk there.
No.
Well, maybe that's something Highway can look into, because I do know they have the setup to paint lines and whatever.
We talked to Pete about it, we just want permission from the board to go do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we get approval to do it, then, you know,
Pete will do it.
he can say he can take care of it.
Yeah, I
Make a
mentioned
motion.
it to Pete Paggi on Monday.
Now,
Do
do
it.
they put signs up also
At that,
Most of your crosswalks does
at that
have
at that
signs.
location only. Or on our village streets, they can't do them on 9D because it's a state highway. So that portion of
Well-
East Main Street is ours.
It's ours.
So we can put a sign up there.
Yeah, see, that would help.
Well, I don't know. It don't help on West Main or East Main, so I don't know how it's gonna help on East Main.
So you would be 4 signs, 2 on Mizzier and 2 on Remsen, if that's what you're agreeing to.
Yeah, be 2 on East,
One
well,
near the church.
yeah,
One Remsen,
near the
one
post
across
office.
Remsen, one post office and across the street, and then,
Right.
especially at the park, especially if we have picnics in the park and people are crossing there, walking wherever, it's safer.
At least striking.
Okay,
At
so
least striking.
is it the pleasure of the board to give
Lower Henry and Clark.
the highway superintendent the go-ahead to
I'll make a motion.
do the
I'll second
crosswalks?
it. Yes.
I need to know exactly where you're talking about.
Right on,
I mean, you can tell me tomorrow.
well, here's North Remsen, South Remsen, here's North Mizzier, South Mizzier, and here's East Main Street. We need, a sign, and we need crosswalks going across East Main Street. This one is already here at North and South Remsen, but it's not here at Mizzier. At the Mizzier one, there's nothing crossing over.
In the corner of the park.
Correct. There's no crosswalks going across East Main Street.
about, the east side or the west side?
Of both.
Both.
Neither one. There's crosswalks going like this way,
Yeah.
across Mizzier itself, but nothing going across East Main Street.
Right,
And there is here, but there isn't here.
so you're gonna have one on,
We need crosswalks being painted on the Mizzier intersection with East Main Street, and we need signs for both.
for both.
Okay.
I would say it would have to be on the east side of Mizzier because there's sidewalks both ways. There's no sidewalk along Mizzier Park. So if you're going to only put it in, if you were
Yeah.
to put a crosswalk on
It'll
one
be
side
on,
across,
it'll be on the east side.
the east side, from the
Well-
Catalano Funeral Home over to the, what is that, a landscaping business? Because there's a side.
Well, there is a side,
There's,
there is a sidewalk, there is a sidewalk there.
yes.
Not on
There's
Mizzier.
not a sidewalk down Mizzier Avenue. So
Not that side,
Right.
but there is one on,
Along East
Along the
Main
park, there
Street,
is.
And then it goes to that corner.
Yeah, I'm just
And-
saying if you were gonna put it across Main, you would go straight across from Catalano's over to that, then across Mizzier to get down towards the village.
Well, there's two going at the Remsen intersection.
Is there 2 at Remsen?
Yeah, let me pull.
One at the post office and one over at that new White House?
Yes.
Is there a crosswalk in both spots? Forget it.
Whatever has to be done, we'll take care of it.
You think one crosswalk?
Okay.
Whatever has to be done, we'll take care of it. We'll-
There's two at Remsen intersection.
I didn't realize there was 2 then.
Yeah. And
I think one's enough for that.
Oh.
there's the crosswalk going across on both, going across Mizzier on both sides, just not across Main Street.
I think you really should meet with Pete at that location. Tell
Yeah.
him exactly what you want.
Oh, I spoke to him on Monday, so I'll go with him as well.
Well, let me go
But-
too, so I get
Yeah.
it right, too, for the
Right,
minutes.
so he gets
Yeah,
it.
trip
and
tomorrow.
I'll show you these photos too.
Oh, good.
Okay. On that motion to allow Pete?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay. Adam, you made the
Adam,
motion?
No, Kevin
I think
did.
Kevin made it,
Kevin
I
made it, and
seconded
Adam
it.
seconded
Yeah,
it.
then we're
He
gonna,
thirded it.
I'm third now. We're gonna take care of it.
All,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Village clerk for safety?
Okay, we have adequate supply of PPE, personal protective equipment. And we're gonna have our safety meeting in June to start with the new members. That's it.
Okay. I will do water, and I'll let trustee Huber comment. We attended a 3.5-hour meeting Monday night. And And
Yeah, we did.
we had a wide range of subjects, most notably well 7, which is, and 7A, which is really the only active well we've got going right now, and the need to come to some point where they're going to have to do a filtration plant or some kind of system to get the manganese and iron out of the water. And I think Trustee Huber will agree with me that this is a dire situation, because I am going to start a discussion with Supervisor Baisley for the need for an agreement, a contract for us to perhaps buy water in the likelihood of that well failing. And if we can get a filtration plant, there will be a lag time, so we will have to buy some water from the town of Poughkeepsie, even if we do the new plant while they tie it together. That would be short term. So I've already had a discussion with Trustee Supervisor Baisley, and we have we're going to have a couple of discussions, and then when it gets to the nitty-gritty, I'm going to bring the attorney in for the details. But that's a serious concern for the village. And to that extent, I'll let Trustee Huber add anything if he wants.
We have to talk to Craig about our water problem on Prospect and Mizzier.
Right.
We have to get, the water board wants written notices to those individual houses.
We met at the location, Mayor and I, and I can tell you, I just got, last Friday, I just got the map from John Zarowski at KC Engineering.
Okay.
So I needed that map in order to prepare the proposed easements. I understand that 4 out of those 5 homeowners are going to cooperate and sign off on that easement.
Right.
So I just got them on Friday. I'd like to draft them before we send letters to these cooperative homeowners. You know, I think that I'd like to do that before anything.
Sounds good.
Mayor, sorry.
No.
Just when you were mentioning about the need for the water filtration plant, which we've all, heard from Mr. Cruzy and Mrs. Morris and some other people, and the importance of it for quite a while. I do want to suggest that we consider finding another engineering company other than KC Engineering, or explore that. I think it's something that's important, and I just am saying this now, although I've said it privately in conversation, because I feel like sometimes if I don't say it here, it doesn't go as far. So I do think, when they were here and they were talking, I believe they said they hadn't done that before, and I know we've done things, we've had issues with things consistently having to be redone or be put in the wrong locations. I think that we should explore that, and I hope that the board will agree that maybe that's something. I don't know how we go about doing it, but before we get too far down the path with them on that particular project, it might be worth exploring some other people, because usually the response is, well, it's hard to change it. It's hard to change your engineering company when you're already in the middle of it. So maybe we don't get into the middle of it with them.
They're well in depth there. I mean, they got some plans already, so I mean, we can look at another engineer firm. You just be paying for it twice.
Well, it didn't seem like when they were sitting here, they were that far into it, but.
They have, I mean, there were plans drawn, so.
Yeah. Well,
We can explore it.
And plus,
there's two options on the filtration plant, the way I understand. Is that correct, Trustee Huber? There's two options on that filtration. There's the full plant, and then there's just the filtering.
yeah, we're looking to do the filtering.
Right.
Yeah, the green sand filters.
Yeah. Which may
will
not,
get.
that's what the water operators want.
That's what the water operators want, which will help well 7 and 7A, and we have well 3 that just trickles into our water system. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. So if we get the green sand filters, we would be able to get a bigger pump for well 3 to use more of our water out of well 3 to get rid of that magnesium, and the sand filters will get rid of the magnesium. So that's what we're looking to do.
Well, I need a clarification on that because you have well 5 that has water galore, but it's got iron.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think that one's disconnected.
As well it should, because it's got so much iron. But if you had the filtration plant,
you could be using more wells.
You would have 5 and 7, you'd have more than enough water. I mean, you'd have probably triple the amount you ever needed.
Yeah. So we're definitely in need of this sand filter.
But right now, we're in need, is right. So that's coming forward. Just hold your thought, you'll get a chance at the end. On the sewer, I had a tri-muni meeting, we had a Zoom meeting, and coming down the line is going to be a major capital project at the sewer treatment plant. I have to get the exact dollar amount. I seem to have heard 11.2 million bucks, I think. Pardon?
I heard that too.
And I want to know the exact percentage for the village's share. I believe it's about 40% of that. So that's sewer. So, Corey.
All right, so yeah, just an update on what's happened recently. I have not gone down to the boathouse in 2 weeks or so, but I've been told the railings have been installed outside. If you recall, last time I said the railings and the lamp posts have been back ordered, and we were waiting on them for a while. We're still waiting on the lamps, but the rails have come in and have been installed. And we closed out with our contractor, Dutch Mechanical, inside. So I've spoken to Brian Murphy about what we got to do to close this out. He's given me a list of our different final inspections we have to do. So hopefully, by this summer we can get those inspected and actually have a venue. I know people have been calling about prices and stuff. People want to use the venue. Obviously, we don't have any prices or anything yet, not that it's open, but it might be something to think about from recreation of how much that might cost when it opens. But so yeah, update on that is it's been installed and they've laid out some dirt. At Bain Park, we have a meeting set up for about mid to late June. I've spoken to the county actually about Bain and the boathouse. They're still ready. They know kind of where we're at, and they're ready for whenever we do start the process. Especially with Bain, they say, whatever invoice you get it, pay it, send it to us, and we can send you the money right away. So as we start moving forward with Bain, maybe stick some shovels in the ground or what have you, the county is ready to reimburse us for the money they've promised. As far as EPA, the EPA is looking at Lower Wappinger Creek to clean up It's been designated a Superfund site for a number of years now. I don't even think I was in high school yet when it was actually designated. They want to put a boat in 3-star anodizing, which is at the moment village property, and we have accepted it. There's currently a lock on the gate for the property. If you've been down there, it's the vacant one with one like burned out building. I went to the clerk, and then I went to Pete down at Highway. We used to have a lock on it. It's not ours anymore. I called, well actually, Cindy helped me out. Cindy called Jack Fed Against People. They said, well, it's the EPA's lock. The EPA is asking me whose lock it is. So it's not the EPA's lock. If anyone does know who that is and they want their lock back, please take it, because we're probably just going to end up cutting it. So I just wanted to give a heads up if anyone knew who it was. Actually, Pete, go down today and look at the lock and see what the update is on it. But so as far as EPA, we're opening that up. They're going to start doing testing later this month. They want to get it in before all the water chestnuts and stuff start growing, because they'll be taking a boat out and stuff. I told them I didn't know it was actually already starting to grow, but it makes sense. You know, we're almost at June, so that's just, you might see them working down in the lower creek. As far as water, sort of on the line with the green sand filters, we had a meeting on Monday. Well, the water board has their meeting on Monday. I went with the mayor, and the treasurer also came. There's what's called the CFAs. It's the Consolidated Funding Application. It's sort of like the biggest time of year for grants. It's basically when you can apply for a vast number of grants all at once through this one like New York system. And it just opened up this week. It's active until July 30th. My thought at the moment is to look into a bunch of different water grants for the green sand filters, and to see if we can try and get some funding for it. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and I'm going to look into some grants. I've been talking with Mary Morris about it, and I'll keep you on the loop as well as we start to move forward with that. The sidewalk that has been the open sidewalk on West Main Street, we have a meeting set for the last week of May with us and DOT and Central Hudson, hopefully about just trying to move that along, see, just meet all at once, all three of us, and try to come to some sort of conclusion as to what we can do there. Just wanted a heads up that, we're still in talks with that. Nothing's moved forward since then. And the last thing I just want to bring up is LWRP, which is our lake local waterfront revitalization project. We were working to get the DEC to accept this biochar. I'm sure some of you have heard me describe before. It's kind of like a carbon-based filter. You fill socks with it, and you put it in the water, and it's supposed to clean out some of the pollutants. The DEC was a little iffy on it. They've finally given enough information to accept it, and so we're going to be moving forward with our pilot projects with that over the summer to see how well they do with the water, and add that to our characterization report, and hopefully close out that grant by the end of the year. So in the past few weeks, that's sort of where we're at with different projects. I can take any questions if anyone.
All right, you mentioned the sidewalk with Central Hudson. Anything on the poles that were hit by the Department of Transportation during the winter time and knocked off their base and are still bent? Is there any update on that at all?
I'm going to be honest, it's the first time really hearing about that. I don't.
That would be me.
Oh, I'm sorry, John. I didn't know.
Yeah. Two of them we feel were knocked down by a snowplow. Can't prove it. They said sue us when I asked them about it. Our insurance isn't going to cover it, so they're pretty much scrap. I have them in another spot right at the moment. Another one was hit by a car and came down, and the fourth one came down because of the wind, 50-mile-an-hour wind gust. There's another one that if you go up on the right-hand side, you'll see it's leaning. I have to call a contractor to come in and remove that one. None of them are covered by insurance. And I think the decision, no, they don't cover our street lights. So the thought process is not to replace them. They are, by the way, designed that if they get hit, they go down quick. They don't fall down on the car. They go away. They were designed that way. And it's working. The reason they're all down on that side of the street is because there's no parking on that side. There's no parking, so a plow goes through. It's pretty narrow there and it's close. The opposite side is fine because there's cars parked along there. There's plenty of space. Same thing going up the hill on East Main Street on both sides. They're pretty much protected too. That spot there, though, is pretty dangerous. But having said that, I have another problem in that the bases are up about 4 to 6 inches. They need to be removed. I need to have an electrician go in there, put a plate over them because they're connected to each other. You know, one goes out, the other ones don't. Well, these are independent. So I have to hire a contractor to do 5 of them now, if I get the other one down, and make it safe so that they're not trip hazards. And that's not going to be cheap either. So, I mean, the thought process of putting them up was okay, but in reality, not a good idea.
Also worth mentioning, the engineers put them an inch from the road. They were 1.5 inches, 2 inches from the road. As soon as they went up, I can't tell you how many people were like, look at how close they are to the curb. Wonder when that's gonna happen. And now we have, I mean, that's another thing that's just worth noting. It's just worth noting.
That was part of the downtown improvement grant, and
They look beautiful.
that was approved by engineering. It was approved by New York State DOT because it is a New York State road. Unfortunately, some other type of a decorative lamp might have been better, even offset a little bit further back from the curb. But they are in line with the fire hydrants, but fire hydrants are a lot lower. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but they're not.
No, it does. So
they're not going to be replaced.
So, okay, that answers the question, John.
Even if you look at the one by the brown building on the corner of the bridge,
Yeah,
you'll see where the flag portion of it got hit and that's bent around.
yeah.
So, but I think the ones that are going to go down are already down. I don't think the others are in danger of going down. But I do have to get that other one down before it ends up in the guy's bedroom. It's aiming right at.
Yeah, I know which one you mean, yeah.
So I'm going to work on getting that done somehow through a contractor. Maybe Saccone, one of them can come down and take it. That's what
That's a
happened there.
shame. That's a shame.
Alice, Kathy?
Yeah, I want to know with all these water problems we're having, supposedly, you know, with our water and sewer that went up so much before for our state-of-the-art water treatment, why are we getting all this stuff now that's not working? You're saying iron is in there and magnesium?
Well, the iron,
Supposedly, when that was all done, you didn't even have to use your water softener or anything. I turned mine off for 2 weeks. I put it right back on because I didn't see any difference in our state-of-the-art, only in my water bill.
well, I think Kathy could attest to the fact because Donnie, her husband, served on the water board for a long time, and she must have heard a story or two about well number 5.
He talked about the wells, and he said the village is going to be in trouble. He said that a number of
We've
times.
always had
Yep.
iron
I know
Yeah.
that.
in
That's why I got
the
it
water.
softener.
Magnesium.
Now we're getting an accumulation of the magnesium.
But you're talking about engineers and, like I said, this new water plant and everything. You have these people, they don't foresee any of this stuff?
Mhm.
Well, it's kind of hard for me to answer that question, okay, knowing where I was the last 11 years, okay? But I can feel for you because of if you have the investment in the infrastructure. To me, how did you miss not doing a project to take care of every conceivable water issue that you might run across while you had close to $20 million of infrastructure borrowing capacity?
Right, I mean, the bills now, it's ridiculous, the water and sewer. And now you're going to say now it's going up more?
I think that there's going to be some talk of it, at least from the water end.
Yeah, because we were supposed to be okay with our water, and now you're saying we're going to have to buy it from Poughkeepsie again?
Well, here's the deal, Alice, and I'm not lying, and I think Kevin will tell you the same thing. If well number 7 gives out and it's forced to be shut down, we have no wells.
Mm-hmm.
So you're working on one well. That's the hard truth. So
this is what I'm saying. You have engineers and all this, and you opened up these new wells, and now, I don't know. I just pay my bills.
yeah.
I just had my water tested yesterday from Hudson Valley. They came down and tested it, and they want to come back, and they said that, I think they want me to buy a water softener. I think that's what it's going towards.
Water softener or water filter?
Water softener, because he said that my water was very, very hard. I don't drink the water. I buy bottled water. I haven't drank the water, and I can't tell you how long. But he's going to come back and he's going to do more testing because he said the water was so hard.
Right.
So,
I drink it every day.
Do they still have the softener being treated for the village? Is it?
Kevin, do you have that?
What's that?
The softeners, are the softeners in use at
The softeners are in use at the plant. Everything's in use at the plant. It's just the magnesium we're having a problem with.
wasn't the hard water is a magnesium?
Yeah,
Would it be so hard?
yeah. And the iron that's in it. But everything in the plant is working how it's supposed to be, but we're just having magnesium just keeps creeping up. So they've been out flushing hydrants to help with that. They're working on it. They're trying.
The clerk has an item.
I was asked last fall to look into and monitor the rebuild of the Cobbler Building on West Main Street. That's a little red brick building as you go up by Franny Reese Park. The reason I'm telling you about it is because 4 people have expressed interest in occupying and leasing that building from the village once it's complete. And it is nearly complete. The water and sewer were put in. A 200 amp electric service is in. The HVAC, that's heat and air conditioning unit, is in. The bathroom has been completely rebuilt and painted. That's done. The area in the front is almost done. He painted that today. There are some broken glass and some windows that I gotta look into to see if I can get fixed. It looked like somebody shot a BB gun into the big picture window that's in the front. But I think I might be able to get a glass place to fix that. I don't know. But that's not catastrophic. That won't hold off on leasing it to anybody. I have to put an ADA door on the side. We can't use the front door. It doesn't, it would open up too far out into the sidewalk, so the building inspector said we can't have the ADA door there in the front. I have to knock the wall down and take one window out on the north side, which there was some planning done in anticipation of that. The sidewalk does go to that portion of the building, so at least the sidewalk is there. And I have an estimate to have that done. The contractor will be doing that soon. People that have expressed interest in it are folks that do eyebrows There was another person that wanted to do hair. Someone wanted to sell hot dogs and things out of it whenever there's an event down at the lower area, if there ever will be one down there. And then there was another one who was the first one that wanted to put a radio station in there and broadcast over the internet. He will get first choice if he doesn't take it, or if for some reason it doesn't fit. And all of this has to go through the village attorney, because you're talking about leasing village-owned property, so that could get a little complicated. But that's just the update on it. I hope to have that door in there and the place presentable by July. And that's what I've been telling people. I take their interest, they send me emails, I have a file, and when it is open and available, oh, we also had a new roof put on it too, and I had the brickwork all pointed up. So we've done a considerable amount of work there in that building. Hopefully we can get that back over time when we lease it, okay? But
There's one thing I was going to say, and Mr. Latino, this might interest you. One of the discussions we had, EDC and myself, was that we were interested in possibly taking it and using it as a pop-up place to allow small businesses to rent it month to month as like almost like a test kitchen. Somebody's interested in coming to the village and they make hot dogs, or they're a woodworker or jewelry or eyebrows, and we kind of rotate it and curate it and bring excitement to the village. So that was one of the thoughts that we had as a way for the village to, and the business association, or you know, the economic development to entertain people. So possible.
And well, I like that, and I also thought that it would be good to have an informational center for the village, where you could have pamphlets, maps, things like that there, some drawings or something.
Having a flex space
Right.
could be interesting.
Right.
It could be a way to bring and entice businesses, which could in turn entice visitors. And, you know, when it's really hard to put all your eggs in one basket and sign a lease for a year, you know, and what the typical landlord wants for their thing, it's really hard to get something going. But, you know, there might be a high school kid or a person getting out of college, someone retiring and sunsetting into another career, or somebody just who'd been working out of their home and want to try to sell pickles, or I don't know.
Well,
It's whatever,
I would,
but
yeah, well,
Bondo's Jerky Hut for a small time
well, maybe the Economic Development Committee
would be something.
could look at doing something like that as opposed to leasing it out. I don't know.
Because I think we did recommend the radio station. That was initially what we had recommended, and we spoke with him. He gave a presentation about his interest. But, you know, it could be an interesting pop-up shops are kind of a cool
Well,
thing these days. So.
at any rate, I'm going to oversee the project to completion, and when it's done, I will tell the board it's
Looking great.
you can do what you want to do with it, and it'll be done. That was my update on that. That's it, Mayor.
Oh, she's got a question. He does too.
What?
You were first.
Me? I just wanted to ask about, is the village going to have the cleanup?
Yes, so we're looking to have the cleanup.
Okay.
Hopefully, we're gonna try to get it out into the June's bill cycle, to let you know when, sometime in September.
Okay. Are there going to be certain things that you can't bring down there?
Like TVs, refrigerators, stuff like the tires.
Just wrap it up in old clothing.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
It's the Freon that gets us.
I'm glad I asked.
I think that's,
Is that it?
Yeah, we're still Latino.
Mr. Mayor, you're talking about the infrastructure of the village and stuff. In previous years, there's been, you know, a lot of digging going on by Secone, gas lines, water lines, sewer lines, road paving, sidewalks being repaired, anything like that in the offing. Are we continuing with that at all?
The short question is, I think we need to take an assessment of what's going on and
perhaps there may be some minor road work. Because the cost factoring left on our loan that we got, as there's no more to borrow against it. Okay? And we haven't completed the grants that we got some grants for. That's why we have our grant writer here to close them out, and he's been looking for more. And so I don't think the board is looking to take on multi-million dollar projects right now.
Okay. The reason why,
especially trying to fund them with a zero fund balance in the general fund. Okay? I would just say categorically that garbage fund is in decent shape, the water fund is in decent shape, the sewer fund is in decent shape, the general fund is in bad shape.
okay. The only reason I ask is, and Kathy will attest to this, is that, we've been on the list, our street, Adams Street, forever. I've been living there now since 1985, and the road itself has never been touched other than to be patched.
Never.
Which the highway department is nice enough to do when, some 3-foot hole, comes in, during the winter time. But, basically our road right now is a bunch of small pieces of blacktop that are just, completely shot and stuff. And I'm sure that there's other roads in the village like that. And again, I say that I ask this only because, we've been, quote, on the list, and we've seen many of the other roads in the village get repaired. New water lines, new sewer lines. They even told us at one point in time, they stopped the gas line halfway down the road. And they said to us, well, you're gonna get it. It's coming. It's coming, but we don't want to do it now because we're going to do your road. Okay, so, and again, that's the only reason I ask.
Okay.
So, and I understand that the fund balance is at zero. And my question is anybody talking to Mark Molinaro about the stimulus money? Because the school districts have all gotten their money. My son's school district got $3.5 million out of when the stimulus money came into the state. Now, supposedly, there was supposed to be also money for local municipalities. It wasn't just school districts that were getting the money. It was to go to the state, and it was to be distributed throughout local municipalities from the fund balances, obviously, that we got during the catastrophic year.
I'll answer that question for you. The towns get the money and then they divvy it up. The towns get their check, and of each town, since we're in 2 towns, we get a portion from the town of Poughkeepsie and the town of Wappinger.
Okay.
That check, those checks from those 2 towns are supposed to come sometime in June to us. Earliest date, perhaps June 12th.
Do we have any idea what kind of money is going to come to us? Is it going to alleviate the problem with the fund balance?
Well, and just, with that money that's coming, there's only specific areas it can be used for.
Okay.
So exactly don't know those areas yet, but there's specific.
Oh, they haven't been defined yet, okay.
There's certain things that you just cannot use that money for. There's certain things you can.
Okay.
We will find out more stipulations as it goes on, because the attorney has just told me that whatever the number is, say it's $600,000, half of it will be this year we'll receive, and then half the next year. I haven't heard that. I know we have a 4-year window to spend it, and I can assure you we can spend it in 5 days.
Okay.
5 minutes. 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, one more thing, Mayor. I was just wondering, what's the board position on park use by residents and non-residents. And the reason why I'm asking this is last year, when I'd be down at Vets Park a lot, there were a lot of kids, older kids, probably should say young adults, that were down at Vets playing basketball that were, I would wager my house, that were not village residents. And I just didn't know, there's liability issues that are involved. We also got a situation now where the basketball court, has a hole in it. So that could create another issue. Now, also in Mizzier Park last year, somebody was having a party, like a bachelorette party or something like that, a shower or something in the gazebo. Don't think that they were village residents. So I'm just asking, is there some sort of policy from the board for use for residents and non-residents? Do you have to give, the board or the recreation department?
I can answer that.
Oh, thanks, Ken.
So you'd have to call the village hall, because we're going through this right now with Vets Park. Somebody wants to use it for a birthday party. So you have to call village hall to reserve, like the gazebo, to get married in, if you want to have a bachelorette party, whatever the case may be. So for a village resident to use our parks, it's $25 for the day. And a non-village resident is $50 for the day. But again, I don't know how we would police that. I mean, thank God some people do call and ask, because I see the same thing down at Vets with the basketball, the volleyball going on, the soccer, the badminton games going on. I see that on Sundays all the time too, and it drives me crazy. There just needs to be rules to these parks, and they just need to be applied. Yeah.
Well, going forward with actually hiring recreation, we're hoping to answer a lot of those questions. So we're hoping to come up with programs, we're hoping to come up with policies and procedures to go forward and make it more structured so that we have the answers to those questions.
Could I just ask two questions to Kevin or to anybody who wants to answer? Is someone saying that there's a problem with people playing badminton and basketball, like basketball on the basketball court? Or?
Well, it's more of a league
It's
than someone playing.
And I doubt that they're from the village.
But that's like, I mean, to be honest with you, and maybe the attorney can speak to this, I don't think that there's any liability that you incur whether you're from the village or not from the village. If someone falls, like if somebody falls, you're not like not covered because you live in the village or you don't live in the village.
You're covered either or.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just worry about like if it's a public. How can you? It just seems challenging to say like, I know this person doesn't live in the village, and then at what point you're IDing people? You're gonna profile someone and say you're not a village person. Are you? Show me your ID. That seems not very community.
So let me give you a couple of examples of.
Yeah, maybe there's something I just don't understand.
So one of the things that was happening down at Vets Park was somebody that was doing an aerobics class or jazzercise or something like that. Obviously charging people to do it, but they're using our property.
Sure, yeah, no, okay? I get that.
So that's one example. You have groups that are coming in that are setting up pretty much leagues for volleyball or whatever. And then what comes along with it is somebody bringing a deep fryer down.
No, you're clear. Saying leagues and things is totally clear.
So things like that. So probably 30, 40 years ago, there were some clear guidelines because the village had control over what type of usage was going on in a particular park. So when we had men's league playing softball and stuff, they were directed up at the fields up by the water department, up by Thornton's.
I get that. That's all very clear.
So they were controlled, they were charged a fee to pay, they had to show insurance and stuff. We've gotten very lax over the years, and definitely there needs to be more signage that says it, but you have to start enforcing it, and there needs to be some kind of oversight for it. There has to be.
Sure. Well,
because it is a concern, and you can say that we're covered by insurance, but I'm pretty sure that the fact that we're well aware of the fact that there's a hole in there's a sinkhole in that basketball court, and we have not addressed it yet, and if somebody gets hurt, that's going to be an issue.
My point wasn't that we have insurance. My point was I don't think someone being from Poughkeepsie versus Wappingers is covered or not covered.
Right.
Leagues are completely clear. I just would be cautious to say, does that if it's not a league and someone's just enjoying the outdoor space,
Yeah, no, I don't
it's
think we ever
tricky
have a
because I don't want to
problem
go to Hopewell with my kids to the Hopewell rec and be told I don't live in Hopewell. I can't go.
Yeah.
So that's the
And I
trick.
think that's like, I think people expect
But the
that with
leagues are
playground
crystal
equipment and
clear.
stuff, but when it's an obvious league where
Sure.
they're really dominating the usage of a particular area in a park,
I agree.
I think that's what you have to, you need to address and stuff too. Plus, we don't really have bathroom facilities available. So, I mean, we don't open up our bathrooms at vets, we don't have facilities at the other parks, so, I mean, that's a concern as well, so those are kind of conversations that everybody,
Thanks for
needs to think
clarifying.
of and stuff, so.
Makes sense.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
You don't have the police, report anymore?
No.
Why? What happened?
Well, I could just say that we just got a new commissioner.
Yeah.
And some of we're gonna give him a little bit of time to redevelop that. Because some of that information might not be information that we want to put out.
Okay.
So we're gonna give him a little bit of time to figure out if that's something that he wants to continue to do, if he wants to modify it in any way. But we'll have a definite answer exactly how that's gonna look soon.
Okay.
With that said,
Cindy
Just
has
one
her
more
hand
thing there, I'm sorry, I meant to bring it up before. I know we've talked about the fact that there's, that the sidewalk on West Main that needs to be repaired, and that's kind of in negotiation with who's going to be responsible for it. Just wanted to alert the board to the fact that County Players is reopening. They are having a play at the beginning of July, and that's going to increase the volume of traffic that's going up that sidewalk to be able to cross over. So if at all possible, and I know that it's not an easy
well, I'll
negotiation.
tell you what, I appreciate that. Find me $1.5 million and we'll have that sidewalk done real quick. Because that's about what it's gonna cost. The whole underside of that road has to be done because of that blowout.
Well, it's a shame it's gonna cost us.
Yeah, it's not.
So, yeah, we are arguing about this.
It cost KC.
But we'll get through it. Any board members?
I'm good.
Thank you. Adam?
No, sir, thank you.
Pat? Kevin?
I'm good, Mayor.
Ann?
I'm good.
Okay. Mike?
No business here.
Okay, with that said, I need a motion to adjourn
I'll make it.
into executive
I'll second.
session for the purpose of discussing a matter leading to appointment of a particular business,
I'll make it.
seeking legal advice from the attorney, and matters that would impact public safety. So, Trustee Huber, and who seconded?
Trustee Ponte.
And Trustee Ponte, who seconded that? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Good job.
Can I?